Hello, confident curl friend. I hope you are doing well whenever this video finds you. And today I'm going to walk you through how I actually detangle freshly washed and conditioned hair. So just came from washing my hair and we'll see what we've got going on underneath. Woo, goodness. All right. So, if you watch my other video, you know that I'm always a proponent of sectioning my hair when I wash it, which is why you saw the clips. And because I washed it in the sink, even though I initially started with 4 sections, 2 ended up being better just because of my space, my confinement for space. So that being said, my hair is freshly washed and conditioned. In order to detangle it, there are a few things I need. Water bottle filled with warm or cold water, doesn't matter, but water is your friend. Yes. And then I need a wide tooth comb, not rat tail, wide tooth comb. This particular comb works really well for me. If you'll notice, the edges are rounded and they're not pointy. The points, the wide tooth combs with the pointy edges or the sort of spiky teeth tend to snag my hair. So again, you got to figure out what works best for your hair. So these are the tools I will use. And then also my trusty, you know it, Pantene Gold leave-on detangling milk. So in order for me to really do a good job at detangling, the first thing I do is I always, you know me by now, I section it. So how do I do it? Not with the comb, because it's going to apply too much tension to my hair. So I use my fingers. Again, I'm not styling it. So I just want to make sure I have manageable sections. So what I'll do is feel where there's like just a natural part with no tension, and then separate it like this, twist it onto itself, and then I'm gonna clip it. And I'm gonna do the same thing until I have 4 sections. Now, I've got 4 clean, washed, conditioned sections ready to be detangled. I will take them down one at a time and show you exactly how I do it. So the process is simple. I will spritz it with some water first to make sure that it is nice and moist. Then I'm going to use the praying hands method for some leave-in detangling milk. And then I will start at the bottom from root to tip, going through, definitely not root to tip, tip to root, from the bottom to the top, beginning to detangle. So I'll do one section, I'll let you take a look at the other 3, and then I'll come back through and talk you through the last section. So we'll start back here, take it down, water, any spray bottle will do. This is just one I've had. You don't have to put anything in the water. I don't, just regular tap water will do. Then the leave-in, the Pantene Gold leave-on detangling milk. And I don't have a specific amount that I use. I just know what it takes to cover that section. So some people say a dime size, a quarter size. Use your judgment rather. Figure out how much you need to detangle that section. So I'll just sort of rub it into the palm of my hand. And then this is called the praying hand method, where it's like I'm praying and I work it all the way through, praying, work it all the way through. And let me just say on that, I have found prayer to be an amazing way to detangle my thoughts about negative thoughts and feelings about my natural hair. When I realized through prayer that God made me beautifully and wonderfully, and that everything attached to me is beautiful and wonderful. That includes my hair. Not saying I never have issues I need to work through, but when he made me, he knew I was going to have kinky, coily, 4C hair. So he wanted it that way. And as it says in Genesis 1:31, it was very good. So my hair is very good. So that praying hand method has twofold purpose. All right. So done all that. Now what I'm going to do, remember I said from the tip to the root. Never go straight through. Why? Because you will pull your hair out. Okay? So I'm going to start very gently, very slowly. Go up a little further. Go up a little further. Go up even further. I have to start back down there again, go all the way up. The idea is eventually to be able to put the comb through the entire length of that section without pulling and snarling. Okay, so that section has been detangled. What I will do, because I'm going to do a wash and go today, it doesn't matter whatever style you want to use. Once that's detangled, I roll it up on each other like this, just rolling it. And then I put this back on. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking and do the other two sections, and then I'll talk you through again this final section. Now, for my last section, before I get ready to style it. And you may say, well, how come your hair looks curly, or how come you don't have a lot of tangles? Couple of things. Number one, that just happens to be the type of hair I have. It is not better or worse than anyone else's. So what you're going to find is that the detangling process is going to depend on, or your hair is going to look a certain way depending on the wonderful texture that you have that is uniquely yours. The other thing I want to mention too, because of my hair texture, I'm realizing this recently, it gets dry really quickly. When I say that, it absorbs water super quickly. And so that's why on wash day, especially if I'm doing a wash and go where it needs to be soaking wet, I gotta have water, or else the look is not gonna come out the way I want it to. The product is not gonna set in it. So that's why using this spray bottle in my last section, as with the others, is a must. A little detangling milk, and just about done. Praying hands method. One of the things I wanted to say too about detangling hair, there's a correlation as it relates to our detangling our natural thoughts and feelings about our natural hair. And if you notice, the process that I gave and that I use is you start from the bottom part, and actually the ends of your hair actually, that's the part that's most readily exposed that you see. And then I work my way all the way up. Do you know the same process is true or needs to be applied when it comes to detangling our negative thoughts about our natural hair and our beauty? Start with the part that is more readily exposed. What do I mean? What do you notice right away? Oh, I notice I'm comparing my curls to someone else. Okay. And when I do that, I'm saying that my hair is ugly. Okay. What is something else that I notice right away? What's at the tip of my tongue when it comes to dealing with my natural hair? I think it's not appropriate. I think I can't go to work with it because it just doesn't look right. Or the person I'm attracted to is not going to be attracted to me because of the way my natural hair is. Start at the tip, that which you can see, and then work your way up to the root, meaning the root cause of where those thoughts started. I'll do me for an example. One of the things I battled with for literally decades was just not thinking my hair was appropriate and that it looked good. And that was what was at the tip. But when I went to the actual root, sort of where it started, I remember as early as 4 or 5 being told I had nappy hair, and have heard all types of terms, beady bead, kitchen, all knowing those were negative terms. Then just going forward, even in high school, when there was someone I hung out with, she was African American and she had blondish hair and it was long and it was flowing. My hair was not. I remember walking along and having these guys, sort of talking behind our backs and thinking, that they were interested in us. And I turned around, it was like, no, not you, her. So again, that cemented in my mind. That is another root in terms of why I didn't feel great about my natural hair. Fast forward to my 20s and 30s, going to professional mixers and noticing that the guys always tended to go to the women with straight, naturally long, flowy hair, which mine was not. So I had a chemical in my hair and that made it long and flowy, but instinctually I knew they were not looking at my hair. So all of those things were at the root. And so the way to detangle and to work through it is to start with what you can see, what's obvious, what's the obvious negative thing I'm thinking, and then work through and get to the root cause of it, realize where the lie is in that, and then begin to replace it with something that is positive about your hair and true. And that is how I detangle my natural hair, and that's how you can also detangle your negative thoughts and feelings about your natural hair. And remember, you are just one thought away from embracing your wonderful natural hair. Why? Because you do have good hair. See you next time.